And welcome back. A black American just dropped a truth bomb about the Confederate flag, and the Libs weren't ready for it. As if they're ever ready for anything, ever. Let's take a look. Keep in mind, the audio quality is not that great, but this guy does make some interesting points.
How y'all doing, America? We're going to talk just a little bit about the Confederate flag, just for a second. Just for a second, we'll talk about the Confederate flag. See the flag behind me? A lot of people think that it's just meant to be racist or the war was fought on racism, and it most certainly was not. Just to get everybody's mind into a little bit of history, the draft was even started for black people when the Confederates were fighting. I'm pretty sure a lot of you didn't even know that. But they fought for the Confederates as free men. So now, everybody talks about the flag being racist and this, that, and the third. Let's just think about the shirts everybody wears that you've been wearing for years. Years before your grandsons were born and all of that and the third, you all been wearing cotton shirts. Somebody was picking it, right? So I just want to know if y'all can think the Confederate flag is racist, then why the hell y'all still wearing cotton shirts? Because it all represents the same thing. The bloody fingers that was picking their cotton. But if you think that it was just black folk that were slaves, people are sadly mistaken. Almost every race has been a slave one upon a time in life. Almost every race. And black people, y'all haven't had the worst. You actually got away from something. Because let me tell you, you were still slaves in Africa as well. You're a slave down here, you're a slave in Africa. Get over it. It wasn't you. You didn't do it. Stop blaming other people. Stop blaming other people who had nothing to do with slavery. Stop doing it. It ain't worth it. This flag does not mean this no more. It doesn't mean what it might maybe once stood for to a very select few. Because a war was not fought on slavery. And if you think that you are that important, you're pretty ignorant. If you think that a war was fought all over slavery. So I'm just asking y'all, America, what do y'all think? The information you just gained right now, you gotta go find that in the book because they ain't gonna teach you in school. So how about y'all do y'all history? Do some homework for a second. Educate yourself. And learn about something before you start just completely throwing hate on something before you know anything about it. So do your homework. I'm out.
And we see white people getting pinned with slavery over and over and over and over and over again, that we're bad and this and that. And most of the people that would push an anti-white agenda don't even realize, or maybe they choose not to realize, what the roots of slavery really were. The term slave has its origins in the word Slav. The Slavs, who inhabited a large part of Eastern Europe, were taken as slaves by the Muslims of Spain during the 9th century AD. Slavery can be broadly described as ownership, buying, and selling of human beings for the purpose of forced and unpaid labor. It is an ancient practice mentioned in both the Bible and the Quran. Breaking: Fox News is heated and is fighting back. Fox News is pushing to have the lawsuit filed by former host Andrea Tanneros dismissed with their lawyers, calling her allegations an outright hoax. From the Hill, Fox News is hitting back at a lawsuit filed by former host Andrea Tanneros, accusing her lawyer of filing false claims that read like the plot of a television drama and asking the court to sanction the lawyer. Tanneros claims the network subjected her to a campaign of harassment, including computer hacks and a stream of offensive and critical social media posts that she says hurt her career. Probably wouldn't have anything to do with her wanting millions of dollars. But hey. But in a motion Wednesday to dismiss the lawsuit, Fox News' lawyers called those allegations an outright hoax and accused Jed Burstein, Tanneros' attorney, of making the claims for publicity. This sensational allegation, broadcast in bold-faced type, was made solely to generate negative headlines for and inflict maximum damage on Fox News, reads the memo. Had Burstein conducted even a minimal factual investigation before filing the complaint, he would have immediately known that Tanneros' allegations were an outright hoax, it added. Former co-host of Outnumbered filed suit against Fox in August of 2016. Tanneros alleges that senior executives at the network had retaliated after she took exception to inappropriate remarks directed at her by former chairman and CEO Roger Ailes, who died earlier this month. So, I'm not a huge fan of Fox, but we do see the attacks continue. The whole idea is to bring Fox News down to its knees or turn it completely left, in which case it wouldn't be Fox News anyhow. Breaking. Scandal out of the DNC. It's bad, folks. And I reported on this yesterday. Representative Debbie Wasserman Schultz allegedly threatened the chief of U.S. Capitol Police for holding computer equipment in the Owen case. The Owen brothers and one of the brothers' wives have been alleged to have stolen equipment and possibly leaked classified information about U.S. intelligence operations. The wife in question has fled to Pakistan. And still, Schultz is trying to impede an investigation against them. Yeah, just like the Seth Rich case. Doesn't matter if it's true, they'll do what they can to get out of it. From the Daily Caller, Representative Debbie Wasserman Schultz threatened the chief of the U.S. Capitol Police. The Florida lawmaker used her position on the committee that sets the police force's budget to press its chief to relinquish the piece of evidence Thursday in what could be considered using her authority to attempt to interfere with a criminal investigation. The Capitol Police and outside agencies are pursuing Imran Awan, who has run technology for the Florida lawmaker since 2005 and was banned from the House network in February on suspicion of data breaches and theft. My understanding is that the Capitol Police is not able to confiscate members' equipment when the member is not under investigation, Wasserman Schultz said in the annual police budget hearing of the House Committee on Appropriations Legislative Branch Subcommittee. We can't return the equipment, Police Chief Matthews says. I think you're violating the rules when you conduct your business that way, and you should expect that there will be consequences. Yeah, it sounds like a threat to me. As one of 8 members of the Committee on Appropriations Legislative Branch Subcommittee, Wasserman Schultz is in charge of the budget of the police force that is investigating her staffer and how he managed to extract so much money and information from members. In a highly unusual exchange, the Florida lawmaker uses a hearing on the Capitol Police annual budget to spend 3 minutes repeatedly trying to extract a promise from the chief that he will return a piece of evidence being used to build an active case. If a member loses equipment and it is found by your staff and identified as that member's equipment and the member is not associated with any case, it is supposed to be returned, yes or no, she said. Police tell her it is important to an ongoing investigation, but presses for its return anyway. A federal employee with knowledge of the situation and who has requested anonymity told the Daily News Foundation's investigative group that as House authorities closed in on Imran Awan and his brothers, a laptop used by Imran was hidden in an unused crevice of the Rayburn House office building. Wasserman Schultz's office is in Longworth House office building, a separate structure. The laptop was later found by Capitol Police and seized because it was relevant to the criminal investigation, the source says. The investigation is examining members' data leaving the network and how Awan managed to get members to place 3 relatives and a friend into largely no-show positions on their payrolls, billing $4 million since 2010. Wow. Made out like a bandit.